Hi, this is Dominic from Paphos Life, and today I'm at the end of the coast path that runs all the way from Geroskipou Beach to Sandy Bay, and I'm up by Poppadom's restaurant on the coast road if you want to get your bearings. Now, I've done films all the way along the path until this point, at which point I stopped in the past because it's not that obvious that you can go from here to Kissonerga and from there all the way to Coral Bay, which is the ultimate goal, I guess. However, I've come back today to see if it is possible to get from here to Kissonerga. Now, I can tell you one thing for a start: if it is possible, it's not going to be wheelchair friendly. Okay? There used to be a little, because the big issue we got here is that there's a stream that runs down from Lemba into the sea, and there used to be a little bridge over it, but I think they had to take the bridge away because it was detrimental to the local eel population. So there is a way to get from this side of the stream to the Sandy Bay side, but you basically have to scramble over a few rocks and get your feet wet. And after that, you have to migrate yourself over that rocky bit. So yes, in terms of accessibility, you can forget it. But the question is it done? Is it possible at all? Or will I come into a cliff or a fence? I suppose the first thing to do is to see what happened to the old bridge. I'm guessing this is down here. I guessed wrong. I guess it might have been. There's an overgrown bit there. Now, when I set off from Palermo, it was nice and cool, and I thought, yeah, this is the great date to come and do this, because I've been putting it off for the whole of August because it's so warm, and this kind of film is not the best done in the heat. But true to form, as soon as I come down here, the clouds have shifted and the sun is out. And this is Sandy Bay, Bay itself. Now, it's worth saying that you should never ever swim here unless the lifeguard is present. And there are some people who say you should never ever swim here full stop. It is one of the most dangerous bits of coast in Paphos. There are big signs warning you, but they're over that way behind the bamboo. All I've got to do is work out how to get down without getting prickled. Didn't realise I'd come to a tiny cliff here already. Always when you're walking for this kind of terrain, be on the lookout for snakes as well. But the coast path itself goes all the way back up there, through Cloaca, Paphos Castle, the seafront, the hotel strip, to Geroskipou Beach. Geroskipou Beach. Now, there is a little staircase down here, which will seem the obvious place to head to. Try not to film the camera around. So I'm going to get my feet wet here a bit, but I don't care. I'm just descending the staircase. Oh, it's not too bad actually. Managed to make it without getting a booty. So we just pan round. Oh, the sun's gone in again, which is good. They're not good for promoting this beach. It means the lighting's a bit splodgy. But so we got down to the beach without getting our feet wet, which was an achievement. It also justifies me keeping my trainers on. I have been tempted to wear my beach shoes. They get uncomfortable after a while. I was walking across Sandy Bay, and I can confirm that it is sandy. Up to the lifeguard, and he's definitely here because the flag's up. And he's even got a bottle of water next to him, which is tempting me. It's quite a lot of surf actually. I mean, you do get a fair number of surfers out here. But I do also know that riptides are a big problem, which is what all the signs warn you about. Now, I was going to say if my research was correct, there should be a little ladder here, and there is. By research, I mean previous drone flights that I've done on the area. So we'll go up here. And I'll ignore the lifeguard. I'm saying that I can't even see him, so I'm not being rude. And get onto the rocky bit. Now, on the other side of that rocky bit, that way, there's a wedding venue. But we're going to just walk straight along here. And once I've done the Kissonerga walk, I'm going to be coming back taking pictures, so hopefully I'll get some nice wave shots. Excuse the camera wobble. So, as I said before, this part of the walk is definitely not wheelchair friendly. Don't even try. I'm not saying that you would. And while this is a fairly monotonous strip, and you know what's coming already, I'd imagine, this is a perfect time for me to mention our YouTube channel and say if you like our content and would like to see more of it, then subscribe to our channel and click on the all elusive notification bell to stay updated when we post. We tend to post 1 or 2 films a day, so you get a fairly regular update. Normally if I'm being professional, one will go out at midday and the other will go out at 6 PM, but sometimes I forget or it gets held up by YouTube, etc. You can also find us on Facebook. We have a Paphos Live page with nearly 70,000 followers, so why don't you come along and join that if you haven't already. And we also have a Paphos chat group on Facebook with about 36,500 followers, and the newly formed group called Cyprus Chat, which covers the whole of Cyprus rather than just Paphos. Okay, that's us social media. If you want to help us out financially, you can go to the buymeacoffee.com/Paphos Live page and send us a few coffees. That helps pay for our living expenses and more camera equipment, basically. Petrol. Petrol's a big thing. And if you want to help us out but get something back in return other than just the glowing warm feeling, then go to our new Etsy shop on etsy.com/shop/Paphos Live, and you can buy lots of stuff that uses our photographs that we've produced and published on Facebook and YouTube, such as cups, mouse mats, calendars, phone covers, you know, the sort of thing. And I'm trying to remember what my wife Alex told me, because she runs that. It's local shipping, i.e. it's made to order and shipped from your own country, so you don't have to wait like 8 months for it to arrive or anything. Okay, that's enough of the marketing. We're coming to the end of the boring rocky bit anyway, and I've watched my footwork. I have to say there was a bit of broken glass around, so don't just be on the lookout for snakes, be on the lookout for anything really. Now snakes is an interesting thing in itself, because in the past I've done films and tours all over Paphos, including the archaeological park. And I remember one time when I was in the archaeological park, I was exploring an overgrown area, and someone shouted at me to look out for snakes, which is fair enough, and I appreciated the warning. Now the only place I've ever seen though a snake in the archaeological park was on a wall in Santa Colonna's Horticolon Fortress, and it was basically just sunbathing itself, but it was in a place where you would never get a snake warning or anything like that. So all I'm saying is always be on the lookout for anything. It doesn't matter if you're in say like a reed bed next to a stream, or walking along the coast path. Basically just keep an eye out for a snake, not necessarily because it'll bite you, but more so, I mean, the only damage I've ever had with snakes is when I've jumped about 6 foot in the air to avoid them, because that's the kind of man I am, and I've landed on my knee. In the meantime, the snake's just buggered off somewhere, because it's much more scared of me than I was of it, believe it or not. But I've done my knee in. So, or you could be walking in a situation where you jump to avoid a snake and you end up falling off a wall or something. It's not the snake bite itself, which could be nasty, but it's your reaction to the possibility of getting one. You know, it's a public information film for you. So we're coming to the end of the rocky bit. And hopefully though, I'll be able to get something interesting at the end, because otherwise this film will consist of a public information film and marketing information more than anything else. And I feel I would have shortchanged my audience. So I've got a feeling that I'm going to have to split getting from here all the way to Kissonerga into 2 films, if it's already taken nearly 15 minutes just to get here. But that's good. It means all the more content for you lot. Does also mean that my arm's getting a bit sore. We'll swap. I'm using the GoPro again today, because I used to be a bit annoyed that it had a tendency to overheat, until I started using the Osmo action cam, which in the past I've only used for night filming, but during the day it overheats more quickly than the GoPro. So back where with what I know. There were some fishermen up ahead. And they've obviously driven down here, so there's obviously a way you can. Not why I'm... Not quite sure where that track goes. As I said, they must go somewhere if they've got their cars here, unless it continues around this way. Now the aim of this is to have a walk which avoids the main coast road and gets you all the way to Cobble Bay. And as you've just seen, in order to do that you have to scramble through a stream, but that's doable. Now we're coming to a residential area. And if you look over there, by the coast is a banana plantation, and in front of that is a little cliff, and there are rocks and shrubs, but it doesn't really look like there's a path. Now I could be wrong, there might be a path through the plantation itself. We'll find out when we get there. There could even be a path along the front. Oh, in terms of how the fishermen got there, the track seems to go up there, and there's a little picnic place there. So if you're on the coast road and wandering, that's what you have to head for. There's a nice little cove down here though. I'd imagine it's very good for snorkeling here. And I'm going a little bit off piste. It's not sandy at all. And there are zero facilities. And when there are this many waves, I know it's not huge waves compared to what you might be expecting wherever you are in the world, but if you were trying to snorkel and there were big waves like that, it might make the water a bit murky. Right. Oh, sorry, excuse the gimbal, playing up a bit. Okay, so I've been going on for over nearly 20 minutes now, so it's probably a good time to have a break. So in the second part we will be going that way to see if we can get, I'm trying to work out where that is up there. That must be up there, the little point that where you park for Kissonerga Coast Path. So we're not too far away from it now. The question is, can we get to it without getting onto the main road? And we'll find that out in the next episode.